No, when somebody talks about relationship, relationship is actually a symbiotic system. Yes, it has to be give me, I give you. In any case where the other person is giving more and the other person is receiving more, there is every tendency that it might not work well. Yeah, it might not work well. My husband, 60, is 34 years older than me. No, I'm not a gold digger. This is the real reason we are together, and intimate, non negotiable rules have to make the dynamic work. People feel that if the age difference is much, it's indeed a factor. And this is owing to the fact that many people usually take advantage of the older one, especially if they are richer. Yeah, especially if they are richer. And this lady is trying to express herself and explain herself why she doesn't feel guilty of it at all. Yeah, you know that age actually have made some people not to get married simply because the person is too older or the person is too younger. So for that reason, they feel that I don't really see any need to get in touch with this person. So instead, they just choose to ignore the whole thing. But let's see what Calvin and his wife have to say concerning this. Love knows no age, and for Calvin, 60, and Grayson, Jagon, 26. Their 34 years old gap is no barrier in their relationship. It's very interesting to know that it's not a barrier to they themselves. At least they have to put a deaf ear to many things. Yeah, they have to put a deaf ear to many things. And those things include what comes from friends, what comes from family, what comes from neighbors. Yeah. A difference of 34 years is not a small difference. That's father-daughter relationship. Father-daughter relationship. 34 years of difference. Even though the pair received their share of snare, that's to say side comments and crude assumptions, they say their unique love conquers all. That's what I'm trying to say. Definitely, there must be words coming from family and friends. Family and friends. What conquers all is love, though. And I bet you this love must be genuine. It must be a genuine love. It must be a genuine love. However, the couples from Sunset, South Carolina, have had to set a slew of strict rules to make their romance work. You know, you can fall in love and fall out of love if there is no rules guiding it. Yes, you can fall in love and fall out of love if there is no rules guiding it. You know, those rules that are guiding it are what makes it work. For instance, what we are seeing here, yes, those strict rules. Anybody that defaults, this is what happens. If I default, this is what happens. Not like you're setting those rules because you don't love each other. You're setting is because everything that works is governed by something. Those rules are governed by something, and when those rules are properly taken care of, abide by, uh, your efforts will definitely not be in vain. The Gigians first met in 2022. Gracian, then 22, was managing the front of house at a fine dining restaurant that Kelvin, then 56, frequented. So it should be love at sight. Maybe not the first time, or maybe he noticed her as time goes on. Probably love was not at first sight, but it was the love was noticed as time goes on, because being frequent there shows that you must have seen a glance aware of each other's age long before they ever considered dating. So before love came into consideration, before the love was actually pronounced, shows that they've been into each other. They've been into each other. Over the course of about a year, we built a natural rapport as guest and manager, with no intention of dating, likely in large part because of the age difference. Kevin told Daily Mail, it's actually easy to trust. It's actually easy to trust the elderly one. It's actually easy to trust the elderly. Probably if Gracian had noticed earlier that he was into her, maybe she wouldn't have bought that idea. Of course, it's not going to work. No way, it's never going to work. But he must have noticed, she must have felt that confidence in him. You must have seen that fatherly appearance in him for her to say, I want to take this person as my own. If somebody as old as your dad is asking you out, you definitely want to reject it from a natural point of view. From a natural point of view, you would want to reject it. You want to say, I'm not interested, or you're older than me. But the way thing played out shows that nobody actually had interest in each other at first. Nobody had interest in each other at the first time, but it actually grew over time. So let's see what actually made Kelvin to make such a move. Kelvin eventually asked me to grab a coffee one morning outside the restaurant, and this progressed naturally from there. Not like it was planned, but it's already been foreseen that something of this nature is about to happen. But it's not like he had it in mind or she had it in mind to go for a date. It's really interesting. It's really interesting. Let's keep going. As time went on, they formed a genuine connection and learned they had shared values and interests. To them, the commonalities made their age gap seems insignificant. You can tell your friend everything, everything, literally everything. That's why when making a friend, you have to be very, very careful. Yeah, I'm telling you, you can open your mouth and say anything to your friend. You can tell them anything. Of course, they are your friends. Why they are your friends is because they must have seen you angry, they must have seen you smile, they must have seen you smell. Like they've perceived your odor, they are used to it. They've been close to your mouth, they know the smell of your mouth. They still begged, like they are your friends. So you can literally say everything that you want to say to them. Okay, okay. They will just accept it because uh, they are getting used to you. So that is the case. When he said, and things progress naturally from there without noticing the age gap. So it really shows they've been friends. They have been friends. They have been friends. And they've been working things out. They've been working things out. So I guess this actually was this is the bar. This is the bar. Um Kelvin 60 and Grayson was 26. That was actually a distinct age gap. Yeah, it was actually a distinct age gap. The age difference was much. And of course, if he's my dad, I'm not sure he will agree to that. But like she said, love covers a lot of things. Love covers a lot of things for them. So this is their picture. This is their picture. Uh, I guess this is when they went to grab the coffee. Say the couple jointly told the Daily Mail that shit. Give me a few minutes. I'll be back. I mean, I guess my mic is a bit low. Okay, it's connected to Bluetooth. It might not work. Let me see if it will work this time. Hmm. Sure. All right, it's working now. Okay, let's progress. Let's progress. All right. Initially, neither of us would have imagined being in a serious relationship with someone 34 years apart in age. Calvin and Grayson said in joint emails replied to the Daily Mail. Like, this is a pure conversation. Why would you want to date somebody who is at your daughter's age? How would you do that? Hmm? How would you want to do that? So that got to tell you that this was actually not planned. But once we got to know each other on a deeper level, that becomes a far less relevant than the connection itself. So that is to say, coming to know the fact that this is my friend, this is my friend, I have your interest at heart, reduces the thought of he's 34 years older than me and she's 34 years younger than me. I know some people would never ever consider that. Well, you know what they say about love. If it happens to you, it happens to you. The couple who legally married in November 2025 and are planning a bigger celebration for June of this year admitted that some of their friends and family were wary of their relationship at first. You know, when they first tell you, when you first hear the news that these people are getting married, what will come to your mind at first is that how and why should that be? Like, why should that be? And it comes to be that most of these young guys have been asking her out. Look at the picture. She's a very beautiful woman. Yeah, smart looking. She's pretty. And come to think that a lot of these young guys have been asking her out only for her to present her wedding card. And they are seeing that it's one 65 years old man she wants to get married to. Of course, that is people's reaction, but that is left for them. With strangers, there is always a level of curiosity and occasionally assumptions, but we've never centered our relationship around outside opinion. That is indeed a great one, you know. Like, what will people say? What will people say concerning this stuff? What will people talk about? You know, unfortunately, if you have ever fallen in love, you know that what people will say is none of your business. Frankly speaking, what people say is none of your business. They can talk. They can talk for all I care. It can only get to you if you've not fallen in love. If the love is not there, maybe you're just friends. Probably at the first time the man came to the uh, coffee shop, he made his intention clear. You find out that what people are saying will eventually get there. Well, because they've fallen in love already, what you're saying doesn't count. Your opinion doesn't count. Those close to us saw how natural and happy the relationship felt, and any initial hesitation quickly gave way to support. It happens, you know, when people are waiting for downfall, and it happens to be that what they are seeing is success. If you get to a point, they'll begin to support you. That is how it naturally works. To get to a point, they'll begin to support you because you're beating their expectation. The expectations are being overruled. Those laws that they are putting in place for you, you are overcoming it all. So for that reason, they have to support you. Everybody loves the winning team. Yeah, everybody loves to win. Everybody wants to see you succeed, even if they don't like it. When you start succeeding, they want to support because you are successful. But when they pray for your downfall and you keep falling, you'll find out that they'll be more happier that you are falling. So they never give a damn to what people were thinking. Over time, they started to care less about what other people thought and kept their focus on strengthening their relationship. 34 years old difference in marriage.
This one take that time. I take another two. That's four.
34 years old difference in marriage. You're supposed to know that the man himself is very, very matured. Of course, you're supposed to know that. He's very matured, and anything that would, in any way, that would want to bring an end to such relationship, we will easily be handled. Of course, it's coming from a maturity standpoint. It's coming from a maturity standpoint. You yourself that is saying it that this person is not fit. You are seeing it from a different perspective. But he himself that is programming and planning everything is seeing it from a maturity perspective. So definitely there's bound to be success. I guess this was when they started, the real journey of love. You know what they say? It's not easy to find love. So when it gets to you, make sure you keep it tight. Once we were confident in our relationship, outside opinions carried much less weight. The root. See, that's what I was saying. If you are confident in what you are doing, you are very, very sure in what you are doing. It's just like a business person who knows that his products are very good. He just needed just one person to buy. Just one person to buy. And the product will begin to sell. That's just how it works. So the man only needed the support and the opinion of the woman. And the woman needed the opinion of the man. That's all. That's just what they need in order for them to succeed. They don't need your crappy opinions. They only need each other to stand firm. At first, the woman and the man approached their relationship thinking it might be temporary, especially since they had different idea of what they wanted for their future. Of course, there is every tendency that those feelings will come about. Yeah, those feelings will definitely come about because of their IQ, their maturity level, and the rest. Of course, you wouldn't expect a girl of 25 to be thinking exactly like you. So probably that was why they were initially seeing it as maybe it will not go far. Let's just give it a try. But believe me, the man knows what he's looking for. Mr. Kelvin knows exactly what he's looking for. Yeah, he knows what he's looking for. You may be seeing it that it's temporary. It won't go far, but he knows exactly what he's looking for. At first, okay, I had always envisioned marriage and children. I had always envisioned marriage and children, why Kevin did not plan to remarry or have more children, Christian reported. So the woman was actually giving her opinion, saying that she wants children in her marriage. But Kevin did not plan to remarry. So they never saw it coming as I was initially thinking. They never saw it coming because the plan was completely different. Yeah, the man don't have intention to get married. So what connection does he have when it comes to having children? So definitely they don't have such intentions. Well, let's see how things maneuver, how they worked it out. And it's come to be that June, all of us are heading down. Are you not heading down with us? Definitely, we are going there together. But the route together as our connection deepening that shifted. That's what we call love. 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 If it catches you, it catches you. You don't have power. Solomon say love is as strong as death. It's as strong as death. So you really expect people to fall in it and easily fall out. People that fall out of love fall out not intentionally, or they don't know how to do it. They don't just know how to do it. If not, they will remain there. Mm. Where did we stop? Okay, together they maturely decided to build toward marriage. While choosing not to have children, they wrote that they both feel very confident in that decision. While some may think their 3 decade age gap would have caused a divide, the couple said they totally designed on all align on all the things they feel matter the most. So their intention was not self-interest. They were not building their love based on self-interest. It was not actually on self-interest. They were building their love on, you know, they're building their love on true love. Our values, our outlook on life, our approach to health, faith, and how we spend our time. That level of alignment has created a very strong emotional foundation for us. It's not mere saying. They are not just saying it just for saying sake. Undeniably, they have feelings for each other. They have considered the man have considered the woman's path of life, and the woman have considered the man's path of life. So they didn't just come up with poem just to make people listen to what they have to say. Of course, if you fall in love, you understand what actually transpired here. The couple often post about their romance online, but they admitted they've have received some cruel comments, with True accusing Gracia of being a gold digger, or declaring that infidelity is in their future. Of course, that's rude. That's rude. It's really rude to say that. It's really, really rude. See, if I'm in love with somebody, if I fall in love with somebody, don't bring your negative energy to it. I'm not in love with you. Yes. This comment here is actually very, very weird. You cannot call somebody a good guy, especially if you not come to steal your good. And I'm very sure she did not steal anybody's good. It's all a mutual things. It happened to them. So they are in love with each other. Let them be. One of the most common misconceptions is that the relationship must be based on something other than a genuine connection, whether this whether that's financial or otherwise. So that was what Grace was trying to explain. I put them to see that in the future, definitely there must be somebody cheating, and that would be Grace, simply because she's the younger one, you know. I know that might be the opinion of many people, but far from it, that wasn't actually what she wanted people to think. That though these circumstances make it look as if that's what she wants people to think, but that's actually not. Uh, Even if she being the younger one does not mean that she have that intention to cheat on her husband in the future. So you making such assumption, you should think properly. Mm-hmm. You should think very, very properly. But most relationships are built on genuine trust and feeling. In reality, Kevin said, our relationship is built on the same things as any strong relationship: compatibility and shared value and mutual respect. Of course, if your relationship is healthy, if you have a healthy relationship, I don't see the reason why you feel that people who are in their relationship are not healthy. That's very, very wrong of you. You shouldn't feel that way. Simply because you're in a healthy relationship and you see flaws in people's relationship because you are the relationship reader. You've read people and you know that this relationship will not last. Because you are the creator of love and you are the creator of relationship. You just conclude because this one is old and this one is younger. You need to change that mindset. Because we all came to meet relationship in one point or the other. If at all you that is criticized never have love, you ever met love before. So you wouldn't say that. But I like the gesture coming from both of them. It shows that if they're able to maintain the connection to the end, yeah, their relationship will definitely go a long way. Yeah, sure, it will go a very long way. Grace said documenting their relationship on social media began re- organically. Like the relationship started organically. But let's see what she meant by that. But when they found a lot of people were interested in their lifestyle, they decided to share more about their lives. So they never intended it to make it public, like as it's being publicized. Media is being beginning to ask for the reason why it's like that. Mm. Mhm. They never intended it that way. Probably they posted one or two pictures, yeah, one or two pictures to their social media and it went viral and people will be, how can this be in love? Like, what's your business? But it's all our business though, because if not, we won't have something to talk about. So let's proceed. The couple recently went viral after they posted a video. What was I saying? As if I was there. Sure. Organically, it's a move about the non-negotiable rules they abide by to ensure their marriage is as healthy as possible. The video was met with thousands of comments from messiahs, right? Everything you do, everything you act, anyhow you act, people must talk. Not when it comes to relationship that affects the as if you're getting married for the word. Like, are you getting married for the word? So why would people carry it on their head? Isn't it concerning? Of course it is. Because messiahs they would say a lot of things. So beautiful. And it happened like this. The couple legally married in November 2025. They are planning a bigger celebration for June 2026. So right now, wherever you say it's your business. If a man is taking, if you know you don't have self-respect, go and approach the man. Of course, you get a strong frying pan. One rule that particularly ruffled some feathers is that they don't drink alcohol without each other which they claim was a decision they each made individually. They insisted deregulation are more likely habits that are formed naturally and work to strengthen their connection. Of course, people would want to have alcohol. Alcohol had lots to do in your relationship, especially if the man takes alcohol and the woman doesn't, or both of you takes alcohol. So if maybe he goes out or she goes out and the man chooses to take a sip while close to a female friend, could lead to another thing. So instead of seeing such a cultured environment, they choose to abide by rules. Well, rules can be broken anyway. hmm Rules can be broken, but you know you'll be grounded when you break the rules. These rules aren't restrictive, but rather intentional choice that works for us. The couple rules. It's very clear. They had those rules set out so that everybody will know your boundaries. Respect your boundaries. I think the response shows that people are curious, but open to seeing, open to seeing relationship that challenge their assumption. Everybody's assuming, everybody is saying, how sure are you? Are you so confident that this thing will work? Are you so sure that something of this nature is actually going to work? This is before you know someone will cheat on his spouse. No, 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 no. But you know so well that Kelvin being at that age. No, you know so well that Kevin being at that age definitely should be thinking, what if my wife cheats on me? What if another younger guy, you know, what if another sharper guy takes this lady away from me? What will happen? Huh? What if the manager of where she works? Of course, those things will ring in her head. So they must have come to a conclusion that since that's the case, this is what we are going to prioritize to make things work. You see? All right. Some of the other rules include prioritizing communication, praying together daily, maintaining respect even in disagreement, and being intentional about how they show up for one another. So the communication is a key. Communication is definitely a key. Your phone. If there is no strong communication, there is actually going to be a chaos, and nobody can settle it. And nobody can settle it. You know that. So there should be a strong communication, prioritizing praying together. Prioritizing praying together, and All right. As we were saying, say some of the other rules include prioritizing prayer. You see, it doesn't really matter how old difference you guys are. If you guys are able to rely on the power from above, power of God, in your relationship, it will help you a long way. Yes, it will really help you guys a long way. See, relationship is not about I know too much. I'm very, very intelligent. No, it's not about being very, very intelligent. That's not relationship for you. It's about understanding the person you are working with. That's why you need God. For instance, you have a television that you don't know how to operate. You definitely need a manual to operate it. So you read the manual. So if you're in a relationship and you're unable to read the manual from above, you definitely have issues. Yes, sir. You will definitely have issues with the person you're working with. So it hasn't changed the relationship itself. It's added an interesting new layer to our conversation and allows us to engage with people who are curious about our dynamics. So those rules actually were there not because the other person wants to show they are more intelligent, they are more careful. No, it's there to spoil their interest, to spouse the love itself. She she added that
Oh, she did it. Now then you won't put up.
she added that at the end of the day, our relationship is built on the same foundation as any other: mutual respect, share value, and genuinely enjoying life together. Ultimately, we hope our story encourages people to look beyond assumption and focus more on what actually makes a relationship work. That's a plain fact. It's a plain fact. Don't you don't just pick up what people say and use it to build your relationship. You don't do that because they themselves don't understand themselves. Do they understand themselves? You looking at They are looking at what you are doing. They are criticizing you and using it to build stone for you. Whereas they themselves don't know what they are going to pass through in theirs. So why would you listen to such a thing? Instead, you spend your time to, you know, look at how your spouse behave. What could possibly trigger his anger or make them happy? If I would take note of those things, I believe, man. So I really love the way they were able to handle this their relationship, even if they were 34 years apart. They had the opportunity to make things work for them. So could you. Times doesn't matter as long as you are genuine in what you are doing. Yeah, it most times doesn't matter. What matters is your interest, your genuineness in what you are doing. People's criticism shouldn't be the reason why you want to quit that relationship. People will always criticize what you do. People will always criticize that thing that you're doing. If they don't criticize it, it's not working. It's not working. You need to criticize it. And if you are able to follow through as you read down, you see that the strength that actually came to their being able to withstand the pressure from outside was actually from inside. For instance, the rain is falling. The rain is falling. The heat doesn't come from the rain. The heat comes from the inside. The rain is there. The storm is there to make sure that you feel it. But you protecting yourself must come from the inside, securing your own home. Yeah. So that is it for today.